It's your boy Cheat Codes, and we back with another episode of misunderstanding the proposition, but disagreeing with it at the same time. We about to get into how this rabbi is about to tell us why atheism shouldn't exist. Let's see if he makes some sense.
Baruch Hashem, bless the name of the Lord. Why atheism should not exist? Well, the first reason atheism should not exist is it's just plain dumb. How does something come from nothing? I mean, it's the most basic, simple truth in all of the universe. I mean, it's beyond common sense. How did something come from nothing? It had to start somewhere. And whenever you identify where it started, the question then is asked, where did that come from? And that same question will continue to be asked forever unless the question is stopped, because there is a cause that exists that had no cause. In other words, there's a first cause. It's the only answer, that there is a being that has always been. Otherwise, again,
I love how like these religious people, they think so one sided. It's so one sided. It's like they have the infinite amount of excuses. They have the question of what started it, and they answer it with the same disagreement that they have for our answer. You feel me? Like they're saying, what did it start from? It couldn't have came from nothing, which nobody asserted it. Atheism does not assert a position. It's a denial of gods or gods. That's it. It's not a positive claim. It's just funny how they can ask the question and then answer it with the question that they wouldn't accept from us. Like if we was to just say that the universe or existence just always existed, then they would not be able to accept that. But yet they can just add a God there. That makes no sense. I just don't understand, how does complexity make simplicity? I thought it was the other way around. How does something that's all powerful, all knowing, make something imperfect? It just doesn't make sense. This almighty God makes imperfect beings that die very soon. Most likely is going to die at early age. And he makes the circumstances of life ridiculous for everyone. Let's see how he explains this.
you'll forever be asking the question, well, where did that come from? Where did the Big Bang come from? Well, what caused that? Well, what caused that? It had to begin with a being that has always been. And that, by definition, is who God is, Baruch Hashem.
This makes no sense, bro. How does a being establish itself without being simple first? It's a conundrum because labeling something a being makes it have a perspective, which makes it incapable of knowing everything. It makes it incapable of being everywhere. It makes it incapable of being a god in modern terms anyway. Maybe much more like a Greek god, but still, to different people, God is just so many different things. Like some people wouldn't even say that it's a being.
The law of first cause. And then I think about the fact that human beings, we appreciate what is good in terms of people celebrate mercy. We celebrate compassion. There's so much happening in our society right now that is being celebrated because underdogs are getting opportunities. And everybody likes to see an underdog get an opportunity. There's a basic goodness within humankind. For example, have you ever felt love for somebody? Have you ever felt love for a husband, a wife, a child, a friend? Of course. Well, let me ask you this question. Isn't love a spiritual thing? Can love be explained by an explosion that happened in outer space?
No, love is not a spiritual thing, bro. It's a chemical reaction. You're going to love another human being if you spend enough time with them in general. It does not matter. It's not a spiritual encounter. You have no proof of the spiritual realm of any sort anyway. This is the reaches that religious people do when they're even like talking regularly. They assert so many things that we disagree with. Nobody, a spiritual, what are you talking about? Demonstrate that, bro. Love is a concept and it's a association of actions, but it's also a feeling which can be manipulated. And this is the whole logic behind a lot of these like religious people, is like they're trying to relabel feelings and emotions as some sort of intelligence when it's clearly not at all. Like our instincts is not very smart or intelligent as our cognitive abilities. This is the logic that they try to like put forth, is like, don't trust your logic.
Space. Can love be explained, the phenomenon of it, by something that was birthed because of two types of chemicals that somehow collided with each other, and boom, there was life, there was the ability to love, there was consciousness, there was the ability to do good? None of that has anything to do with science.
It has very much everything to do with science, even social science. Like, why don't they understand that science is literally just the study of exactly whatever you're talking about? So if you're talking about human sociology and the way that organisms and certain mammals and animals associate with each other, then it's technically science. Like, it's like like, science is whatever is being studied. You feel me? And whatever is an established mechanism of going about telling what is real in reality. So if you're saying that feelings and emotion is something that is real, then we should be able to detect that. And from what we detect is not this intelligence in which people try to make it seem. It's not that.
Science is good, but God is beyond science. Science is not the end, and it can't explain. Science could not explain love. I remember many years ago, I was in Uganda, and we were doing an outreach there. And my team and I were at the hotel one morning, and we went out to get some breakfast.
The ultimate bullshit excuse ever used. Like, God is beyond science. Okay. I don't know what to do with that. Like, because science is dealing with the realm of reality. It's like our understanding of what's real. So if God is real, then he should fall into that study and science. I don't understand how that's so difficult to tell. It's like, if we can't at all discover him in a way that we can put an exact thing on it, how do you expect us to believe this shit? This is why so many different religions, because people think different things, and everybody thinks they're right.
Guy said, "Please sit down." So we started talking, and I asked about her, and she was a scientist. She was there doing some type of medical research. And then I told her what I was doing there, and she said, "Well, I don't believe in God." I said, "That's too bad." I said, "How do you explain the fact that you have self-awareness? How can you explain that you're aware of yourself, that you're aware of your thoughts, that you can even..."
Bro, just saying, like, asking a question to explain something does not make sense. Like, you asking a question instead of providing evidence does not make sense. Like, you're not connecting it. You're not like, it's like, oh, we have self-awareness, so God had to create it. Where is the in-between connection? All you're doing is just saying, oh, we can't find no other explanation. And she probably knows more shit about actual science in the universe to tell the difference. Because if you meet an adult that doesn't believe in God, then they done some research. Like, if you meet an older person who doesn't believe in God, that's not a teen, then they probably done some research. But like, just to insinuate that the missing link is only pointed one way is because you have a bias, which you don't understand. Like, you have an extreme bias to think in one direction.
choose which thought to dwell on. Can that be explained by a big boom that happened in outer space, supposedly billions of years ago? I said, consider that rose behind you. I don't know if it was
This is what I meant by misunderstanding something and disagreeing with it at the same time. Prime example, misunderstanding what the Big Bang is. It was not a boom. There was nobody here to hear that shit. It was an expansion of space-time. It was an expansion of space-time, not a boom. Again, people who don't care about the details and what really matters about a subject, they're just finding biased information about something that is the negative, which is a straw man. It's not the argument. That is not the concept of the Big Bang. He just gave a loose interpretation of what he think it is.
a rose. It was a beautiful flower. I said, look at that flower. I said, where does beauty come from? And then I challenged her with the ability that we have as human beings to love. And we talked.
Oh my God, bro. We can describe beauty also. But the thing is that everybody, your sense of beauty comes directly from yourself. Beauty is not something that everybody agrees on. Different people think different things are beautiful. Different people disagree with them. Like somebody might think something is beautiful that I don't think is beautiful. So when you say where does beauty come from, and if there's a higher order of beauty, then all things that are beautiful will be beautiful to everybody, but that's not the case. Somehow it depends on what you value and what you grew up valuing and what your culture values.
Shared a little bit more about what I was doing, and she asked a bit about our outreach that was going to be taking place that night. And so, sure enough, she came that night, and she stood out because there was only about 5, 10 Caucasians in a group of about 30 to 50,000 people. So she stood out, and she was real close, and God was moving powerfully. And so I actually had one of our ushers go to her and bring her up to the platform because I wanted her to see what God was doing. And it was one of the most amazing nights. It was so surreal that I've ever had in my life. I was on the platform. I believe it was in Gulu, Uganda. And as I began to
Bro, I'm just watching this shit. It's so funny how like God tells these niggas what type of haircut to get. Like I be seeing the Jews in New York and the way they be cutting their kids' hair, bro. Like they be really shaving the top of their head off, bro, and just having the curls on the top, on the side. Like, come on, bro. Like, why the fuck do God give a fuck about what you wear and what they gotta wear a big ass hat on certain days? Like, why do your God give a fuck about this shit? Like, he got so much shit else going on in the universe. He cares about the littlest shit. I don't get it.
sing in the spirit, demons started manifesting. I mean, again, 30,000 to 50,000 people there. And as I just began to sing in the spirit, 100 or so people, probably more, just started manifesting demons. I'm talking about screaming, shrieking, rolling on the ground, foaming at the mouth. I'm sorry to, but this is what.
Hold on, bro. I gotta look this up. Hold on, cause what the fuck do manifest mean? Display or show a quality or feeling by the act or appearance. Demonstrate. Yeah, bro. People be using that word like that word got a lot of cultural dominance right now, and they straight falsely using it like manifest. Like it was that book, The Secret, the what that shit called that shit took over everybody's brains. They thinking that they could just manifest shit. What the fuck is that book called? But yeah, bro, this word, I hate these words, bro. Like,
what was going on. The eyes rolled back in the back of the head. So there was one woman up that was close to the platform where I was ministering.
don't worry about it, y'all. I ain't off him. He capping his ass off, talking about demons appeared and fucking their eyes rolled back in their head. Come on, bro. Like, this would be on the news. Like, this would literally be, if you had solid evidence for this shit, it would be important to humanity. No, you don't. You just don't, bro. It's not headline, no news. This would not be a secret. You would have recorded it. We would have all seen it. But this is not the case. You just making shit up as you go, and you want to believe it.
From. And she was manifesting really badly. So I told the ushers, bring her on the platform. And they brought her on the platform, and she was like all over the place, flailing. You can actually search me more on YouTube and just search under demons. And I'm sure if you look under my name and demons, you'll see demons being exorcised, cast out of people while I'm in Africa. We have some videotape on that. But at any rate, they bring her up on the platform. And I begin to take authority over Satan and the powers of darkness on the platform, and I'm holding the mic in my hand as I'm commanding Satan and his demons to leave this woman that was manifesting so violently.
Wait, they got Satan in the Old Testament? I thought that was just like a Christian thing. But yo, how do you have hold over Satan but God doesn't? I don't get that. Like, I get it, but I don't get it in terms of, like, I get it that it's a Batman Joker thing, but I don't get how religious people don't see that. Batman needs villains, or there is no reason for Batman to be Batman. Let's keep it a buck. So, in God terms, he needs the devil, or there will be no purpose of being God, right? Because that's what keeps these religious people on their toes. It's literally it's so mind blowing that they really put themselves in the middle of, they are really so convinced that they're in the middle of this fucking epic action universe shit where it's like God versus the devil, but they never talk about how God is doing shit to the devil. Matter of fact, God was making bets with the devil. God doesn't seem to be bothered by the devil. It doesn't say anything about God. How does the devil cross God and then like God also chats with him, bets with him and shit like that? And it seems like the devil is a friend of God, but y'all enemy, which doesn't make no sense because I thought niggas who link with the ops supposed to be the ops too. Like if your homie was like, if your father was chilling with your ops, what is you doing? Like, I don't see the correlation of how religious people just ignore the obvious. It's like you really just gotta be a non-believer to see it a certain way. If you see it this way, you just can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. Every time they talk about the devil, it just over my head because it's like you're not saying anything and you're not even staying solid on what you believe because it doesn't make sense. If you honestly believe this stuff, this is another big point. If you honestly believe this stuff, like if you literally lived in this reality in which the God of the Bible was a real thing, right? Like actually exists. Why are you not realistically looking at it as a real thing? Because they look at it as a fairy tale instead of a real thing. Like if it was a real thing and it was objectively real and reality was based on the Bible, God actually existed, then you would look at it a certain way because you would not form a bias to it. Like you would look at it realistically, but it's kind of like they say that they are convinced that it's real, but also they suck God's dick, which I don't get. Like if it's realistic, okay, it can still be real and you can still disagree with the way that this nigga is running shit. That's not the case because they don't have the intelligence to see it objectively.
And when I took authority over Satan and his demons, over that woman, when I was ministering to that woman and I commanded the demons to leave with the microphone in my hand, instantly 100 people or more in the crowd started manifesting demons. And it was like pandemonium. And it was a violent, strong manifestation. I mean, they're punching, screaming, flailing, running, shouting, screeching. I mean, it was violent. And it was like unbelievable what was happening in the crowd. It was like pandemonium. I literally felt like I was in the book of Acts and I was back in the book of Acts. And I was really concerned that the platform that I was standing on was going to get run over. We were this close to mass hysteria.
Yo, this shit is so strange on how he started the video, basically saying atheists are unintelligent, like, and why does this thing even exist? And he's literally talking about the most cartoon, scary movie, the most bizarre shit with no evidence. Do they actually believe the stuff that they say out their mouth? I just can't picture how you could actually believe that this took place. In this reality, like this reality right here, that same shit happened in it. Wow. It's beyond me, bro. It's beyond me.
But praise God, the Lord was there. The people that manifested got delivered by and large. As far as I know, all of them did. I don't know, but I mean, I'm assuming that's what we see God doing. The woman on the platform that I was ministering to, she got set free. But the point is, and the reason I told the story is the scientist that we met at the hotel that morning during breakfast, she was at the meeting during this uprising. She was on the platform. She witnessed the entire thing. Here was this scientist that didn't believe in the supernatural, that is seeing right before her very eyes the confrontation between the literal spirit of God with the realm of darkness. And she saw the reality of it. Because when you look into people's eyes that are possessed by a demon,
Where the fuck is this scientist at? Why did he not bring her on and show her credentials? Why is he just saying a scientist? He just saying like the most general. I had this scientist, and this is literally like a plot of a scary movie, Paranormal Activity. Like this is the plot of it. Any 90s or like early 2000s scary movie they used to do is they will have somebody who's scientifically literate or like scientific minded, and the whole objective of that would just for them to get killed or like proved wrong, and that's a joke inside of the movie. But this is not a movie, bro. This is the real world, and that does not happen. That's not how shit goes, bro.
inhabited by a demon and controlled by the demon, when you look in their eyes, you can see that you're looking at something from another realm, something that is not of this world. And to see those eyes that had just a moment ago been taken with something from another world, some horror in some other realm, when you see those same eyes, when you take authority over those demons in that person in the name of Yeshua, and then those eyes begin to clear up right as I'm witnessing it. They go from horror and terror and hysteria, all of a sudden they're cleared and they're peaceful, and you see the love of God coming through. They've been set free, and you see the beauty of the human soul. It's an amazing thing. That atheist saw that last night. That she saw that night, and then the next thing that happened was that next.
She probably wasn't no scientist, bro. It's not impossible to convince an atheist to convert back to a religion. It's not impossible to do that. But it's just magical how he's not showing any evidence, because they don't work on evidence. They don't care about evidence. Personal testimony is all the people that's watching this shit needs to have from his opinion, because they already trust it. He already agrees with their bias, so it doesn't matter. Even people who don't even believe in the same religion would agree with him on a few points of it, probably up until he said Yeshua, because Christians don't even know who that is. But
morning, that's why I said last night, because I was thinking of the next scene, which is in the morning. So the morning after this outreach where she was at, seeing all these things, I'm back at the hotel with my team, we're getting breakfast, and sure enough, this young scientist is there. And I'm in line, just picking, some things up, putting some things on my plate for breakfast. And she comes up to me and she said, I want to thank you for your wisdom. She became a believer. She saw the reality of the power of God. But you know what? We shouldn't need proof. God is alive. And I'm going to pick this video up. Be watching, because I'm going to be speaking more about why atheism is just stupid. God bless you, and thank you for watching today.
But he just told the stupidest story. The stupidest story, the most made up story I ever heard, and just said he's gonna tell us why atheists is stupid, bro. This shit really makes sense. This shit really makes sense to them.
More about why the reality of the power of God. But you know what? We shouldn't need proof.
The nigga said we shouldn't need proof. What? This is why talking to these type of people is nonsensical, because it don't matter. They don't need proof. You heard it from the horse's mouth. They don't need proof. They don't need substantial evidence. They don't need to prove to you or anybody else or even themselves that this thing is real. All you need is faith. That's all you need is faith. But that's not how reality works at all. They don't work on fairy tale, wish, testimony. It doesn't work. You can't bring that in the courtroom. We can't objectively look at faith. And I don't get why they go above and beyond to prove atheists wrong, as if we're making a positive claim. All you have to do is just prove your God right, which y'all don't do, because y'all don't even have sense of the evidence that's needed to prove it. Y'all have straw man arguments in which he displayed all video, which he doesn't understand the Big Bang. He doesn't understand atheism. All they do is just gather the arguments that are shared between each other and can't even make sense of the shit they sell. So whatever, bro. We're gonna keep our foot on their neck, you feel me? Because we ain't letting shit like this slide no more. We throwing stones back at y'all bitches, you feel me? All y'all pastors, rabbis, whatever the fuck you want to label yourself, because you think you align with something that don't exist with your imaginary friend, and you think the people who disagree with you are not intelligent. We gonna see.